Teal, how about you? Are you out partying all the time?
Oh yeah, no, I've just been sneezing on everybody. I don't know.
That's awesome.
You know, LA has been like really tight from the beginning. I mean, obviously we're one of the bigger cities with like all the outbreak and everything as far as the amount of people getting infected. I was so happy when the gyms opened. I mean, I was not happy doing cardio with a mask on, but I was just happy. And now I'm hearing they're going to shut the gyms back down. They've shut the bars back down and stuff like that. So, I mean, I understand that it's important that we like flatten the curve and everything, but it's so hard to be patient. And I know everyone in America feels that way.
All right, so let me ask you this: if okay, I know you worked for a while and you work for AEW. So
I did one job for AEW. I worked for a while, and then I've actually been training with Damos, who's a wrestler out of the East Coast who's moved recently to LA. So we're doing some tag team stuff in the near future, if COVID ever lets us.
Cool. So if you got a call from WoW saying, "Hey, we have a 20-woman battle royal tomorrow," would you go do it?
I feel like this is a trick question. Yes,
No.
I feel like there's no way to answer this and come out good looking.
Oh no, just shoot.
I am not afraid of contracting it. I am afraid of spreading it to people.
Mm-hmm.
I would have no problem doing that. I would be careful afterwards. You know, I wouldn't want to accidentally get it and like infect my grandma or something like that. But as far as performing, I personally don't have an issue or don't feel uncomfortable around other people. I just try to be careful. And, you know, like I said, if I thought that there was a chance I was remotely exposed to something, I would definitely take that very seriously.
I'm guessing when you do interviews or these things, people probably oftentimes asking about your dad. I'm going to only bring him up once, and this is the time. Other than showing everybody my Roddy Piper action doll, which is the only action figure, not doll, which is the only one I've ever owned, by the way. Anyway, apart from that, so I met your dad in the mid 80s, or I'm sorry, early 90s when I produced a movie that he was in. And I got to know him pretty well over the following 20 years. We did a lot of traveling together. Interesting thing about your dad, and I'm not going to get hung up on him, I promise, but it's like I felt like we were really close friends. And it's amazing to me how many people feel that same way. And I oftentimes think there must have been like 100 of your dads out there because there are so many good friends. And that's awesome. That's a testament to his character. So speaking of his character, it's like I travel with him a lot. And there's two things I would say that stand out personally. One is fiercely protective of his daughters, as you know. And two, always ultra respectful to every person that he'd meet, but especially women. So I want to ask you in a moment about speaking out. What would your dad make of this if he were around with us?
He has always been fiercely on pro women. He used to say he has 3 daughters. He's the biggest feminist. I actually have it's a kind of an embarrassing story, but when I was like, I don't know, 14 or something, I remember making like a snarky comment about the divas on WWE, you know, or like something disrespectful. And I have never been yelled at more in my life. And he sat there telling me for like an hour about how they have to be twice as talented and work twice as hard as the men and yada yada. And then as I got older, I really appreciated what, you know, the fact that he even sat there and got mad at me about something like that and like went through explaining why. And I've also seen him, you know, I know he worked on a set for a movie once where the director
a long time now.
Speaking out. And I mean, they had a director the next day. That guy didn't want to work in town ever again. Like he had very strong feelings where if he felt that a man was abusing their power in the industry in any way, he would have almost like he almost got like sick to his stomach, like, you know, and that was something that especially now that I've worked in entertainment for a while, like I truly appreciated about him. And, you know, I wish there were more people like that out there.
Now, you yourself have been, as you said, you've been in entertainment a long time, but you just entered the pro wrestling world actively, at least just a couple of years ago. And looking forward to seeing more of you once, as Jennifer said, this ever opens up again. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
So you entered a couple of years ago. What's the vibe like between you and the guys in the locker rooms that you've been in? Everything cool, or do you feel like speaking out is something that's overdue or overblown?
I'm going to say both, actually. I personally have had no bad experiences with men in wrestling. Everyone I've trained with or spoken to backstage or whatever has been very respectful. But I also am very aware that, maybe people treat me different than some, a girl that like sacrificed everything to be there and, is getting her first opportunity in a room. I do get handed more things or doors get opened for me easier. And so I think that people might treat me different. That being said, I do think in general, entertainment across the board, this whole movement's way overblown, but I also feel, or I'm sorry, way overdue, but I also feel that women, it also, there's something to be said that we don't talk about as often, but it is very easy to say one nasty thing or accusation against a guy and bury their whole career, whether or not it's true. And I think it's very important that we, everyone's kind of innocent until proven guilty. And while I believe a lot of women, I also know about 50% of rumors in wrestling end up to be true, and 50% end up being somebody who hates somebody else. So I try to take it with a grain of salt. There are certainly many, many things that have happened over the years that women finally get their time to talk about. And I think that's a wonderful, great thing. And, I hope that it helps foster a healthy environment, but I don't want to see the scales tip any one way. I just want everyone to be able to work together and have a happy environment.
By the way, well said.
Thank you.
It seems like the world is becoming, at least for right now, and I hope it's going to change, but it's a pretty mean and divided place right now. Teal, drive it just in your daily travels when you're going around and you're seeing the mood of people, or you're I don't know if you go on Facebook or Instagram and see what people are writing or what's in your friends' feeds. Is what's happening in the world like affecting you at your core at all right now, or does everything seem pretty normal to you?
The world is pretty crazy. Honestly, I truly try not to read people's feeds and comments at all. Like, I don't even read my own posts because I think it's unhealthy. I think the internet gives people like a veil so that they can just do or say whatever they want, which I don't think is okay. And also, I know that it doesn't matter how nice I am to everybody, somebody is going to have a problem with me. And so all you can do is fight by yourself. And so I try not to let the internet and all of the trolls on it. Like, I try not to I try to put weight in my actual life and my actual friends, and I try to put my focus there. And I feel that helps me stay sane, and especially during our apocalypse that we're going through right now. So that's just how I deal with it.
Teal, give us something crazy.
Well, I haven't been on the road as much as these other girls, so I really don't have a lot of road stories for you. I've, mostly been in training, to be honest, working with WOW, which is here in LA. But I don't really know what to say with those, because any stories I can think of, I don't really want to talk about, to be honest.
I hear you. Yeah, no, I got you. Like, John knows.
I just don't want to be disrespectful to the few opportunities I've had.
No, fair enough. What's going to happen with WOW? How do you think WOW is going to do? Assuming the world opens again and everything is normal on an even playing field, what do you think the prospects are for the company?
They were actually doing very well and had a lot of exciting things on the horizon, and then COVID hit, and now I have no idea what's happening. There's just no work. Nothing's happening until 2021 in LA, so at all, like in any part of the industry. So I don't know what to expect with that. I hear that they're working on something and they're all very excited about it. I actually had an ACL and meniscus surgery a few months back. So most of this year for me turned out to be a recovery time. So I'm just anxious to train at all, let alone do any shows, because nothing's open.
Right. Fair enough. Do you know Jeannie Buss? Have you worked with her much?
Everyone always asks what I think of Jeannie Buss. I'm probably the only person that hasn't actually got the opportunity to meet her. I hear wonderful things. I think she's a inspiring woman, but I've never met her. So,
well, John, and there goes my whole hidden reason for setting up this entire podcast tonight, was to try to get Ariel to fix me up with Jeannie Buss, and now that's over. Oh well, that's all right.
She looks like a catch. I don't blame you.
So Teal, assuming that you're,
Yes.
how are you healing up after the surgery? Was it successful?
It was. It hurt, but it was good. So I'm doing well. I think August 3rd is when I'm supposed to be able to like test it out more. Although I've totally been cheating on that, but whatever. I just gotta tape it up and pray sometimes.
Right.
But it was good timing because the world is shut down. So like I had my surgery maybe a week before the quarantine started. So it's kind of a weird blessing in disguise because the quarantine's like forcing me to like baby it, you know? But life happens.
So again, assuming the world returns to normal, whatever the new normal looks like, what are your professional goals? What are the next few years going to bring for you?
Well, I'm hoping to train more. Right now, I've been training under a wrestler named Damos. We actually went out to Vegas and found a ring out there. Like we've been kind of finding where we can get him. I would also love to train with the Rikishi school, so I'm hoping to be able to do that at some point. And then beyond that, I want to do the indies scene, to be honest. The more I've gotten into wrestling, the more I really enjoy just like the craft of it and getting to go out there and have fun. And I want to, in a perfect world, I guess I would like to do a tag team with Damos and go around the indie scene and just kind of, get it under my belt more because I am still a lot less experienced than a lot of these girls that you have, on the show today.
And do you think WWE is in your future, or are you not thinking about that too much yet?
I don't even know. I don't know if the world has a future right now. Obviously, anybody would love to be with the WWE. I just want to be in a position where I feel like I deserve to be there.
Okay.
People work really hard, and it's something I take seriously. So I just want to feel like I've, done the indie scene a little bit and have a better understanding of how the world works, before I attempt something like that.
Good, and it's nice to hear that, and I know you're so genuine about that too. That you could have easily sailed on your name. You know that. I'm sure you've been given the opportunities, and
you know what? Your name opens doors, sure, but
then you have to perform after that. Right. True enough.
The door gets slammed twice as fast if you don't know what you're doing. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm taking the right steps and taking it seriously, and not just showing up and be like, treat me special, because that's just not gonna work out for me.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free and help our channel grow. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.